Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
There we go. You thought I was surprising in there with a solo video shot, but I'm not. Welcome to the Giddy Up Podcast, Season 3, Episode 6. I'm joined by triple Paralympian Don Elgin. Welcome, Donnie.
Oh, JT, I tell you what, it's somewhat exciting and somewhat, well, sort of not so exciting tonight.
Oh, that's not starting off on a good note. What's happened?
Well, it's the band that I've been put on. I've been put on a Don segment band because allegedly in the last podcast, I was very quick to say, have a look at that. And it's okay for people watching the podcast, JT, but people listening to the podcast, they've all called me out and go, Don, you're not helping us, mate. So I've been banned from my segment this week. How about that?
No, it's right. Good decision. And of course, if you are listening to us on the podcast, welcome.
It's a decision, JT.
It's a great decision. Back our listeners all the way. And of course, we are going live on Facebook and YouTube, or you can watch it on Catch Up. So whichever way you're watching, we're really glad that you've tuned in to listen to the show because we have a lot of fun putting it together. And tonight, Donnie, we have a couple of very special guests.
Oh, JT, first things first, before we go any further, have you pushed record?
We are recording on all fronts tonight, my friend, so everything is very professional. And with our guests tonight, Donnie, we say it every week, we've got some great guests, but we genuinely have some great guests tonight. And Donnie, everyone has a bit of a laugh about our technical challenges. And tonight, we've got 2 live crosses, Don. I mean, what could possibly go wrong?
Nothing can go wrong with that, JT. I am backing you in, mate. You have absolutely got this. Given that I have got nothing to do technically, you are the man for the moment, and I'm convinced you've got this. So you're going to do 2 live crosses. We've got some superstar guests in the dungeon, and we're probably not in the same dungeon you're in, but they are around, and I am super excited about the thought of making sure that we can get to them live and it's going to work out well.
Nah, everything will work out just fine. I have absolute confidence in our technical ability, Don. Now, this show, we have lots of stuff that we always talk about. We've got heaps of fun stuff, but I do want to say a quick shout out to our sponsors because they're the ones that make it possible. So to tradie.com, who are flashing the bucks at the moment. I'm seeing tradie.com everywhere. And also
date
on
night,
top
JT.
of, there we go.
He's got date night, JT, for this spray.
Love it.
Just give me a little bit of that action.
And of course with the our Yarra Valley Big Cat Beer Company that, well, Donnie, if you ever need a beer, you know you need to go to the Yarra Valley Beer Cat Big Company. You're dying on me, Don.
Oh, I did it again, Jay. I got nobody airflow in here, and I gave myself too much date night of trading.com. Anyway, Yarra Valley Big Cat Beer Company. JT, I'm usually a clear drinking type person, but I'm willing to turn.
Hello.
Like, yep, absolutely. For the Big Cat.
Talk buff about this, or?
Well, for the show, I'll do almost anything, JT.
Almost anything. You heard it first. Donnie's turning. All right. Well, we're not going to explore that in too much depth because we want to keep this show relatively classy, which would be a step up from what we normally do.
That'd be a first.
Yeah, I know, right? Now we have a lot of different segments, and we always kick things off with one of our favourite segments, which is our Weird, Wonderful, and Wacky.
Oh, this would be big.
Weird, Wonderful, and Wacky. Now, Don, I know you do an extensive amount of research for the show, and that's what our listeners tune in for, Don, because it is that in-depth analysis that you just leave no stone unturned when you do the research for this show, Don.
Correct. Well, it's important, JT, that we know what we're on about for the show. We can't just turn up and half cock body bang on about something.
No, we couldn't, could we, Don? So in this Weird, Wonderful, and Wacky segment, we've got a range of different things, Donnie. So what have you come up for us this week?
Well, JT, you wouldn't believe it, but let me just
try me. Come on.
Right, I've got it. Okay, big creepy balls, JT.
What? Hey,
big creepy balls. How's this? This mum, she rocked up and she put a photo on the internet, right?
Right.
And so what she's done, she's put this photo on the internet and she's scared the crap out of the internet. They're not sure what it is, JT. There's thousands of these little black creepy balls that are in a kid's cubby house. Now, me personally, I reckon straight up there, bloody spiders, burn the joint down and move house. That's what I'd say. But it turns out that they might not be. People aren't even sure what they are. Potentially could have been Sesame Street buns or some, I don't know, something.
Have you got a photo for us, Donnie, at all?
Yeah. I'll just do some of this stuff here, JT, and then upcoming photo. Have a look at that.
Wow, that's a brilliant. It's like you're prepared for this, Don.
Very prepared.
No, as you can
don't
see,
say look at that, JT. You've got to explain what this is. So.
That's exactly right. We do have to explain it to everyone. So what you're seeing there is some little tiny black balls on the screen, Don, and there's no other way to explain it. But they are very, very weird looking things, and
this is not a racist show either, JT. That's exactly what you've said they are.
That's exactly right. They are the colour black, and it really does have experts stumped. Everyone's thought they looked like pest eggs, or some people suggested they look more like little seeds, like or little poppy seeds kind of thing. But no one's actually at this stage been able to work out what the hell is going on.
I wouldn't take the chance, mate. Seriously, what's that shit doing there in the first place? Like, unless that mum set it up, for me, that's nature coming in with a little bit of, wait for it, a surprise.
Donnie,
and I don't want to be there when that surprise hatches.
As if anyone had set anything up on the internet, Don. Seriously, I mean,
you're right, JT.
Now, speaking of weird things you find on the internet, and if you follow the run sheet and go with the one at the top of the sheet, Don, which says, "Give you one."
There was more.
I'll give you one job. Jesus Christ. So
scrolled up.
Now, Donnie, obviously COVID's it's impacted businesses all over the world, and we know where it all originated from. I think that's been widely documented, Don.
China.
Yeah, China. And so they've obviously been doing it pretty tough. And, zoos, Donnie, they've had a really rough run because, of course, zoos rely on traffic, right? People coming through, paying the money. But if
how they work.
People aren't coming, they've got no money. They've got no food for the animals.
Uh-oh.
And sometimes things happen in zoos. I mean, animals do die, of course, sometimes just through natural causes, sometimes, because they didn't get enough food, which would be sad. But there was a zoo in China, Don, that, they had a wolf, an enclosure for a wolf. And, of course, you want to go to the zoo, you want to see a wolf. But unfortunately, Don, the wolf died of old age. So it wasn't related to COVID. It had food. It just died of old age. These things happen, of course.
Yeah.
But times are tough. It's pretty hard to just go out and find another wolf, isn't it? I mean, they don't.
So they probably haven't been breeding them all,
that's right.
Succession planning, JT.
Correct. And they don't, it's fair to say, they don't just walk the streets. That's why you want to go to the zoo and watch one. They're probably dangerous animals.
Hopefully.
But these people in China, Donnie, they're not ones to say, well, you know what, just damn it, we don't have a wolf. They come up with unique ideas, Don. So I just want to pop this up and give you a screen now for a warning that those that are watching, this is a very scary looking creature. So watch with.
I'll sit back because I get
watch with caution. But there's the
Hang on a minute.
There's the wolf that they've put up.
How do you describe that wolf, JT?
Well, it looks awfully like a Doberman to me, Don.
Looks a bloody lot like that's no wolf, JT.
I don't think it's a wolf either.
They dead set whack that in there.
That is dead set. That's in there. And but they have said they've tried to defend it, and they said, "Hang on, this is actually a watchdog that we raised at the park. We're only keeping it there temporarily." So the bureaucracy there have actually forced them to remove the sign that says wolves leading to that enclosure. So all is not lost.
Oh, that's gold, JT. Reminds me of this one day I went to a zoo and it just had like this one dog in it and it was a Shih Tzu. And seriously, it's anyway, moving on, JT. What else have we got?
We should. Hopefully the standard of the jokes is going to get him better than that.
I know,
it's on me. On. I get it. Now, Donnie, planes. We put up some footage a couple of weeks ago, that engine catching on fire. There's scary things that happens in planes. When things go wrong, it doesn't normally end well, does it?
We haven't had another one, have we? Let me just have a quick look at that run sheet. There's no chance we've had that again, have we? That's right. Yes, let me tell you about this one.
Here we go.
I had it. I was just I was sitting on it, just keeping
this will be interesting.
Toes.
All right, here we go.
Right, so here, picture this, right? Finally, you're COVID free. You're out and about. You go, right, buddy, babe, pack the kids. We're going on holiday.
Oh, yes.
We're Sudanese. And we're off to somewhere really remote, like Doha. Let's go to Doha.
Wow.
And so you're sitting there on your plane, and next minute, the captain is in a spot of bother, JT.
Oh, what's that?
Now, a lot of things that run through your mind when that's the case. What probably wouldn't run through your mind is that there is a cat in the cockpit having a crack, going apeshit at the captain.
What do you mean?
And this happened, JT. It happened on a flight Local media reported the incident and it occurred last week in a Taco flight, 30 minutes into the trip from Sudanese capital, bloody wherever that is. Khartoum. You give me that one, JT, because that's yours. You do this to me. Anyway, this cat made headlines, had a crack at the pilot. Like, of all the people on the plane, the cat's surely smart enough to realise the pilot is the one you don't hassle when you're flying.
Interesting. So you're right, Donnie. There was a cat that was caught in the cockpit, and it forced the plane to turn back. And apparently, this isn't that uncommon. They've had cats escape from plane holds before, and they've got into the cabin. Of course, you don't want a cat running around hitting controls and all sorts of stuff. So it is quite risky. But there was no footage, of course, in the media at all. But Don.
But JT, you would have searched high and low, and I know you would have come up with something.
And I always want to give everything to our listeners. So I actually managed to get some exclusive footage of the cat in the cockpit. Yep, I'm just going to put it up now for those that are watching this video. There it is there, Donnie. It's exclusive.
I'll tell you what we're looking at there is we are looking at the coolest cat in JT's joint, and it's got a bloody sticky note with pull-up on it.
That's all I could think of that would happen in a cockpit, Don. So it's all I could do at short notice. Come on, it's like
that's very good. And apologies to Oscar. No cat was hurt in the making.
Well, actually, I don't know about that. He wasn't really appreciative of a sticky note being stuck on him, and it's fair to say that lasted about 2 seconds. So
probably wasn't happy with it coming off either. Jay.
Now, speaking of catching things, Donnie.
Yes. What do you got?
Now I'm not into my fishing. I like leaving the fish in the ocean where they belong.
You are an animal lover, except when it comes to using Oscar for
props. Yeah, that's right. But I know that you don't mind, jumping in the boat and going and having a bit of a fish. So a couple of lads off Sydney just had a bit of a crack and caught something, Don. Now, I was up in Sydney last week, and I was up there with the beautiful Nance that will be joining us later. And we were actually cruising across the harbour on the ferry, and I remember looking in the water and making a whole bunch of jokes about there's a lot of sharks in there, and Nan's like, oh, don't be silly. I'm like, no, seriously, there's sharks in there. We've seen on the news, they've ripped off people's legs, and not nasty. Well, every now and then humans sort of get one up on the sharks, Donnie. Have a look at this for a shark that was caught. This is a true story, caught last week. 394 kilo tiger shark caught off the Sydney coast. Took about 45 minutes to haul it in, but have a look at the size of that thing.
JT, I'm not going to say have a look at that because I've been pulled up on saying that, but I am going to describe this. This is a little tinny that's gone out there, a little bit of a canopy over there and big-ass motor, and there is a shark on there, dead set, taking up about 8 seats of human space. It is a big sucker. What was it, JT?
394 kilos, yeah. Tiger
94.
Shark. Shit. Wouldn't want to run into them under the water, would you?
But seriously, is that Photoshop? Like, how do you even get that in? And the fact that it's in us first, like, I don't even want to know how they caught that, but that is staggering, the size of that.
Well, that's right. It said it took about 45 minutes to pull it in. And shark, just for those who want to know, fishing for sharks is legal in the New South Wales, and fishermen are permitted to have 1 tiger shark per catch. So they didn't do anything wrong. I would
thank
like
God
to
for
argue,
that. They wouldn't be able to fit 2 in the boat.
Well, they
huge,
certainly would have, right? But
maybe that's why fisheries are onto it. No, you can only have 1, mate. Otherwise, you need a bigger boat.
That was going to be I had that line lined up all day, and you stole
JT.
it from me.
Sorry, mate.
Jesus Christ, I'm on the run sheet again.
What else you got?
Now, you love a bargain, Don. If anyone I know, you love a bargain, right? Now, there's a guy up here. I'm going to put this, again, a photo up, and I'm sure you're going to be able to explain this, Donnie. It's, but we put a Kinetic man bought this small porcelain bowl. Looks like one of those little, you go to the Chinese restaurants, and they used to have those really decorative sort of bowls. You'd get your chicken sweet corn soup in or something.
About a dozen of those, JT, in my drawer.
Well, there you go. So this guy bought this small porcelain bowl for $35, and then he had a hint that might be worth something a little bit more. So he asked the Sotheby's, the auction house in London, to appraise it. They came back and said, well, that's actually a rare 15th century Ming dynasty piece, and just worth between a lazy $300,000 and $500,000.
JT, you're kidding me. I thought he was getting ripped off paying $35 for it.
There you go.
Dead set, 300 large.
Yep. Not bad, is it? Not a bad investment for $35.
I am going to go and get that dozen that I got in the drawers that keep getting chipped every time. Look, didn't have any chips in it.
No.
Not hot chips, like actually dints I'm talking about.
Yeah,
that's probably why it's worth a bit.
It was in very good condition, but not bad, eh? $35 fine to turn into $300K, which is pretty impressive. Now,
did he sell it, JT?
Yeah, he was happy to sell it. Why wouldn't you? 300.
Why wouldn't you? Hello. Yep.
It's, now, of course, one of the other things around COVID is that a lot of retail shops have been doing it really tough, Don. And I wanted to bring your attention to a shop in the UK. It's a shoe place, Donnie.
Shoe shops. We like shoe shops.
We like shoe shops. It's called a Shoe Zone. Now they've unfortunately had to close down a number of their stores because things have been doing it tough. But they take naming very seriously, Don. And I actually found this in the financial section of the newspaper. This is not a joke, but it just belonged in the weird, wacky, and wonderful section because.
Right.
The retailer has announced, have a listen to the names of the people. The retailer has announced that Terry Boot will be its next finance boss, replacing, here it comes, Peter Foot.
Oh, turn it up.
Dead set. True. So Terry Boot is the next finance boss taking over from Peter Foot. You just wouldn't read about that sort of stuff, would you?
Well, you would in the finance section, JT. Seriously. Like, those people are bloody committed to their careers, aren't they? Like, they're just, maybe, you know, when like parents you have kids go, I hope he's going to be a doctor, I hope he's going to be this, I'll name him something really clever like Apple or Sky because they're going to be really spiritual. I'm naming you shoes and laces and you are going to work at the bloody Shoe Zone. That's big, JT.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting pickup. Now, speaking of pickups, Donnie, that's the worst segue ever. But I just had to move on, though. Now, we've shown a number of weird-looking creatures on this show over the last sort of 18 months or so.
Yeah, you're good at finding them.
And I found a cracker, Donnie. This is a dog. This is a puppy that was born in the US, and the vets have described her as a miracle, given her a name called Skipper, and they believe that Skipper was supposed to have a twin, but they failed to completely split apart, which means she's got twice as many body parts from the waist down. So she's only got one head and chest, 2 pelvic regions, 2 reproductive systems, and 2 tails.
This sounds like some sort of weird shit you'd see in Harry Potter.
Well, it's not. There's a little puppy. There's a little Skipper. Have a look at little Skipper. Now,
not photoshopped?
No, not Photoshop. Now, often when you see these sort of mutations, it doesn't end well because, science just says, hey, that's just not meant to happen. But apparently, because this is a congenital issue as opposed to genetic, the vets are very optimistic that Skipper has a very good life ahead of her. So there you go, 6-legged little puppy dog.
That is, I tell you what, JT, that is it's going to be bloody interesting. You know what we should do is we should just see if we can continue to do Skipper Watch, because can you imagine the first steps? Like, that's going to just be like, there's going to be a lot going on there.
Yeah, I agree. And now I should just say, one of the things that we failed to mention last week, Donnie, is you guys, if you're looking at Facebook and you're seeing comments or not seeing comments, we know there's a few little bugs going around and the numbers that people are watching are going all over the place, etc. But there are certainly lots of people watching, but the numbers fluctuate even on the view that we are seeing in the comments. We think we're seeing all the comments, but I'm not sure if you guys are seeing all the comments. So please just keep commenting away and contributing to the show, and we'll keep flicking some up as we see them.
We probably won't do any from the likes of Spiro and those real dodgy units because we've still got some sort of, moral standard. But no, bloody love it, JT. It was really weird. And I had quite a few people saying the only thing they could see last week was Nance, and then other people saying that they didn't see any of Nance. So it was a...
well, even Nance just commented saying not seeing comments again either. So it does seem like it's the gremlins are still there and people seeing comments or not. But rest assured, we think we're seeing everything coming in. So comment away and we'll keep flicking them up on the screen as we...
According to the numbers that we've got here, there's 8,967 people on at the moment. So, well, they're there. So
that's exactly right. If you're only seeing 2 or 3, that's clearly factually incorrect. Now, speaking of completely dodgy stuff, Don, when you go
which we would report on.
Well, that's right. When you go for surgery, it's a big deal, right? And we all get a little bit anxious around having to go to surgery, and you just sort of...
What's the needles for me, JT?
Oh, I know. You hate the needles, Donnie, right?
I hate the needles, yeah. But your most recent surgeon, you've been most recently cut up out of the two of us. So,
yep. Yes. I don't mind sort of hospital, but you go into surgery and you sort of have these expectations around surgeons, right? That they're at the top end of the chain, so to speak. They've done a lot of
They've
study.
done the bloody hand scrubbing thing a lot.
That's right. Very professional, and they're very
Focused.
Exactly. Focused and ready to concentrate on your job. So you'd be a little bit surprised, Donnie, when I shoved this photo up, and you don't have to see the photo because we'll explain it to those people that are listening. But this is just a court case that was going on, Donnie, and it was just a minor traffic violation. And the surgeon was there to defend himself, and he just thought, you know what, I'm just going to dial in Zoom in the middle of surgery, and you can hear this court case. So there's the surgeon literally in the middle of surgery, and the judge sort of raised a few concerns around that, but he just said, no, all good. I've got another surgeon here who's doing surgery with me, so I can just stand here and he can do the surgery as well. So needless to say, the judge, Donnie, he just said, he wouldn't have a bar of it. He said, you know what, I think it's pretty important we focus on keeping people alive, and we'll just reschedule this court case for another time, Donnie.
JT, you know what? That brings me to a bloody great point. How often do we have you go to a doctor's and it's almost like everything rolls on their time? Doesn't matter a shit if they're 15 minutes late, or it doesn't matter.
Don't start me on that. Absolutely.
So, but is this just the surgeon just going, mate, you're no more important than me. If it's good enough for you to be in your work environment, it's good enough for me to be in mine. Like who's at the top of the tree, JT?
Well, I'll tell you what, if that was my surgeon, I wouldn't be too happy about that happening in the middle of my surgery.
Especially if you're paying private health insurance. Imagine if he ended up, the judge says, no, we'll go on with this. By the way, mate, you've lost your license, and he just takes it out.
That's exactly right.
You wouldn't want to be on the table.
Now, Donnie, I do want to say, I think I mentioned this actually a while back, but around because this was over a traffic violation. I think I mentioned I had a traffic violation a while back. I had a parking fine that I wasn't too happy about. And I think it was only about $80, whatever. And I was like, you know what, bugger this. I don't think I should have got the fine. And so I wrote in a very strong appeal letter, and, I don't mind writing a couple of letters, Don, as you know, and
yes.
got a letter back saying stiff shit and pay up. And
that's what they wrote.
Yeah, basically. And I went back and said, well, okay, that's not going to happen. So we all agreed that we're going to go to court and fight it out in court.
Well, happy days, JT. Are you going to wear your surgeon's mask?
Well, here's the thing, Don. The court case was scheduled for last Friday.
Right.
And a few days prior, you're supposed to ring and confirm, blah, blah, blah. And I thought, I didn't really want to go, to be honest, but I thought, you've got to stand up for yourself every now and then, don't you, Don? And so what happened was, anyway, I ring the court and I said,
this is not on the run sheet, by the way.
No, you're right.
This is bloody good. Go on, JT.
So I ring up and they say, I'm sorry, Mr. Tipper, we don't actually have your case listed here at all.
You're a ripper.
I said, was it a council fine thing? I said, yeah, it was. And they said, we'll suggest you ring the council. So I ring the council, this bloke's name, and he said, Tippett, is it? Yeah. And he said, mate, I was just about to call you. He goes, look, there's been a bit of a stuff up with the courts, and we're going to have to reschedule the date. And I sort of said, well, I'll give you the tip, mate. I was in Sydney last week. I'm in Adelaide next week. I came back just to hear this court case because it was really important. So I said, so I assume you're going to reimburse me then for my flights and accommodation, are you? And he said,
yeah, how'd that go?
And he said, no, we can't do that. It's, you can ask the court, to reimburse costs, if that's the case. And I said, well, that's interesting, because I said, if you stuffed up, what, or with the court stuffed up, which one? Because I know I didn't stuff up. There was one of you two. And I said, so I said, if the court stuffed up, why would they issue costs to be paid by you, the council? Like, that's not going to work, is it? And he's like, no, that's right. And so we went back and forth a little bit. But anyway, in the interest of saving a whole bunch of time on this podcast, Donnie, they decided that it might be in their best interest to waive the fine. So we got off.
Well done, JT. Wonderful people.
Yeah. I was pretty happy.
Giddy up. That's the sort of shit. Yeah. See, now, JT, that's what I like about you. You don't go in half-cocked, under-researched. You go in, you know the facts, and you get outcomes.
Yeah, it was a win for the little people, right? So, which is always good.
Oh, mate.
I know.
Big.
Now, let's get geeky, Donnie.
Geek of the week.
Well, yeah. Now, I do like trying to go a little bit geeky, Donnie, and those that know me know I'm basically a closet geek, which is not actually in the closet.
There's nothing. You've been out of the closet for a long time, JT.
Yeah,
There's nothing closet about.
So the first video I just want to share with people, I just thought it was quite fascinating. I'm just going to play it and we'll just keep talking over it, Donnie, because quite doesn't matter if you're not watching it. But it's actually just a video about how deep the ocean is. And it's funny that we've just put people on a rover on Mars, and yet there's so much we don't know about our own planet. So if you're watching this video here, you can see here that we're down to 1,000 meters now, and that's the maximum depth that sunlight can reach. And this has gone to 1828, the lowest point of the Grand Canyon. We're now at 4,267 meters down, which is the average depth of the ocean. And now we're flying the whole way down here to 8,850, which is the height of Mount Everest. And we're still going deeper in the ocean as well. So
is there anyone in that little sucker, Jason?
No. And just over 10,000. We're nearly at 11,000 meters, which is about the bottom of the Mariana Trench, 11,034 meters. So 11 kilometers under the surface of the ocean, Donnie. It's a bloody big ocean, isn't it?
Mate, I'll tell you what. JT, first things first is who's going to fact check that? No one's swimming down. If your little gadget breaks, stiff shit, it's gone. No one's going down to get it. So, JT, you telling me that everything that sinks in the ocean has the capacity or potential to be lost forever at 11,000 feet? Because humans can't. Where did we get up to?
No, we got just short of that. So, we can actually get down there now. James Cameron is, I think, the second deepest person on the planet. It's gone the second deepest on the planet. Obviously, from the guy who made the Titanic movie. Right. We're not far off it. But, yeah, mind you, I don't think if you dropped your phone, Donnie, I don't think you'd be chasing it down there to go and get it.
Yeah, you'd just probably go and get another one, wouldn't you?
I reckon you would. Now, the last bit of Geek, because only a short geeky section.
Wait a minute, JT, where is that exactly? Because I've been down the bay and it's not that deep down there. Where is this 11,000?
Well, the average depth is nearly 4,500 or 4.5 kilometres below the ocean, but clearly around the coastlines, it's nowhere near as deep as that. So you've got to get out into the deep stuff right out in the ocean to get those sorts of depths. If
you started digging, JT, would you come out of China? What happens?
I don't know, Don.
See,
how about you do some research for next week and come back and tell our listeners?
Now my head's just going to be spinning all night thinking about shit that's down there and stuff.
Yeah, no, your head will be filled with heaps of other crap we're about to talk about, Don, so you'll be fine.
Righto, what do you got?
Like this one. How about a free trip to the moon?
So far, my old mate Buzz has been up there and Neil's got up there a bit.
Allegedly.
But I'm not sure anyone else has made it so.
Well, Japanese billionaire Yuzuku Mazawa has...
with the accent too.
Yep, got the accent. He has decided that he's doing a worldwide search for 8 passengers to take a free trip around the moon in 2023, only a couple of years away, Donnie. So he's going to pay the entire cost.
Cheers, bud.
Yeah, he's going to pay the entire cost of the voyage. And the first stage of the selection process runs through till tomorrow, Donnie. So if you're keen, you've got to get your application in by tomorrow.
Where do I apply, JT?
Now, I've got somewhere online.
Is there a website or something?
But there's a small little catch, Don.
What is it?
Well, he's going to pay for free, and you've got to pass medical checks, and you've got to do an interview. But, that's it. 3 of the recent Starship prototypes, Elon Musk's little rocket ships, 3 of the recent ones have exploded during testing, Don. So there's a slight risk that they may not have sorted things out by 2023, and it might be your last trip anywhere.
Well, something's going to get you. Might as well go down in a blaze of glory with a billionaire.
You would go down. We've actually got footage. This is footage now.
What do we got?
This is the SpaceX 10 from last week.
Would have been pretty bloody hot under that, JT.
It would have been very hot. Have a look at this, though. So it's coming in to land itself. Quite incredible technology. It's the first time it's been able to self-land. And it actually...
Wow, JT.
Managed to land on it, so quite impressive.
Oh, sensational. So what could possibly go wrong, JT?
Well, just wait a little bit.
All right, well, from all accounts, so far, I'm on the plane with Mr.
You probably clicking drinks at that stage, and that would have been the last thing you did, because it just blew up, Donnie.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
Oh, has that got a, like a fireproof cabin?
Yeah, luckily there's no passengers in there, but because they're still testing. But so it landed. So that's a good step. They've worked out how to land it. Unfortunately, it still keeps blowing up. So while it's a free trip, Donnie, I don't know if you're ready to put your hand up just yet.
So who is it? SpaceX. So is he? I didn't listen to you probably fully, JT. SpaceX isn't that Elon's?
Yes,
buddy?
correct. That's right, Muskie's.
So how did what's his face just say, yeah, right, I'm going to pay for everyone? He just had a
Well,
chat
they're already taking bookings for
right.
SpaceX flights. So they're obviously doing a lot of testing. Clearly, still a lot more required. But they're already taking bookings, Donnie. People have already paid to go. So
Have they?
Yeah.
Well, they should have entered this competition, mate. Could have got it for free.
Well, that's exactly right. Well, now, Donnie, with the way your crypto's going, you'll probably be able to afford a free flight soon anyway.
If we listen to the Money Whisperer, JT, we will be right.
Donnie, he's a man of great wisdom. He's got some great tips for us later in the show. Now, Donnie, we love trying to just sort of discuss about things as much as we've got all our segments that are very structured. But I thought it'd be good for us to talk about a few topical things at the moment, Donnie. Now, of course, the tragic news, Don, of Daniel Andrews, the Victorian Premier, who accidentally fell down the stairs last week, Don.
JT, I smell a rat.
Yeah, me too. There's no way he fell down the stairs, but that's just my personal view. But I think we may not see Daniel Andrews leading the state again.
Oh, whoa, JT. I was just going to say that he's, his missus pushed him. But hang on, this is far more cynical than I was going with.
Donnie, I can't say too much, but would not surprise me.
Are you suggesting, JT, here on the Giddy Up podcast, heard it here first, that Daniel Andrews will not make it back to the helm to lead our state? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, buddy, write this down, kids. This is the
well, it's on YouTube. There you go. So now look. To be fair, I've been proven wrong a zillion times before, so this could be in it. But hey, if it does happen, there you go. You heard it here first. Now, Don, one of the things I want to talk about, and which is a far more serious topic.
JT. I tell you what.
Just let it go, Donnie. Just do a bit of Frozen. Just let it go. I can't say anymore. I just can't say anymore. But that's
you've actually got whispers. Well, I tell you what. All I'm really impressed about is that you are calling it, because we called it on a few occasions on different things.
I mean, pretty right. I think the only one I got wrong was the lockdown, the 14-day, 5-day, sorry, that I said was going to go a bit longer. Yeah. But other than that, I reckon I've been on the money with everything I've predicted so far.
Righto, JT. So what we're going to do, here it is. You've pushed record tonight, right?
Yep.
We're going to play this back the day Daniel Andrews takes office again. Okay?
And I'll be the first to apologise and say I got it wrong. So
you bloody ripper.
It's just what I'm hearing, Donnie. Now, we've covered extensively the cancel culture and, just name changes. And, I mean, what was just some ridiculous coon cheese.
The Redskins and the lollies. That was all in the Black Lives Matter space.
Yeah. Well, look, it's Donnie. It's still going, and I think someone's just got to call out bullshit, and it's up to us, Donnie. We're calling it out because this time Unilever. Now, Unilever are a big brand, Donnie. They have a lot of brands that were familiar to Aussies. So Dove, Sunsilk, Tresemme shampoo, etc. They sell products in about 190 countries, and they came out on Tuesday and said they're going to be removing a certain word from their packaging, Don, all over the world because, well, it's just too offensive now, and it's being removed. No, it's not black at all. No.
Rainbow? They haven't gone there, have they?
Yeah, no. I'm just going to put up on the screen for those of you who are watching, but don't worry, we'll tell you what the word is. Donnie, can you see the offensive word there? Can you just point it out for our listeners?
There's an F word for normal dry hair.
That's it. To me. No, you got it right there, Donnie.
What?
Well, you said
normal dry hair.
Yeah. Oh, geez, Don, careful, mate. We're going to get censored if you keep bloody going on like that.
Who have I offended? Wait a minute. What's going on there,
Donnie? You said the word normal, and that's very offensive, mate. No, it's very offensive now. They're removing the word normal from their packaging. So now when you go and buy shampoo, and it used to say like normal, dry, fine, oily, etc. No. Which was
bloody great because if you didn't have dandruff or you didn't have oily hair, you just wanted a normal shit, and so that's what you bought.
No normal anymore, Donnie, because the change is part of a positive beauty strategy, Donnie. They're championing a new area of beauty that's inclusive, equitable, and sustainable. So the fact is there is no real normal, Donnie. So what's normal? So let's just remove it. So there you go.
But how does the average punter like me, JT, walk in and just buy some shit that I want? I haven't got oily hair. I haven't got dry hair.
No, you're just offending people, Don. I don't know what the problem is here.
And so what? Okay, so what's the problem if people get offended, JT? Who is coming up with this crock of shit?
Donnie, it's the great unwashed. We've spoken about this a lot. People just love to be offended about something. So the word normal is gone. But, Donnie, it gets a bit worse.
Oh, it can't get bloody worse than that,
well,
surely.
just when you're thinking you've got to be kidding me. So this is in the UK. A hospital in the UK has just released new guidelines for perinatal care. And the midwives have been urged to say chest milk instead of breast milk.
You're shitting me.
I am not shitting you. They can no longer refer to it to breast milk, and it is now called chest milk, Donnie.
Oh, could we please, now I'm not into violence, but could we please go in and club the dumb fuck that come up with that? Because that is absolutely ludicrous crap, JT. When the bloody hell has milk ever come out of someone's chest, mate? It comes out of your breasts or out of your tin and you make it up, mate. It doesn't come out of a chest. Oh, who's bloody offended, JT?
A lot of people are offended, Donnie, clearly.
Well,
that's why we
JT,
make these changes.
Hang on. See, this is what I keep hearing. I keep hearing people are offended. What about us, the average, normal, boring as batshit human that gets offended by that crap, JT? When does our voice get heard? Oh, JT, chop me leg off and call me Shorty. This is bloody ridiculous.
Shorty, I'm afraid that is real stuff that's happening in the world, and I agree with you. It's just getting just ridiculous. There was even a show, and it actually escapes me right now, but there was another show, like another old kids show that they're now under the spotlight again. So you're like, you've got to be kidding me. It's just, the world's gone to shit, Don.
Oh, it's gone. No, but it'll continue to go there until people stand up and go, that's crap. Until people stop. Like, seriously, this bullshit minority group that's getting so their knickers in a knot over fucking normal shampoo. If the millions of people in the 190 countries stop buying it, they'll soon work out that their marketing department is out of touch with the masses, not the bloody squeaky wheel bullshit group that cries foul, the council culture. We've got to start clubbing people, JT. We've got to absolutely just whack them.
I agree, Donnie. So the best thing you can do if you're not happy about it is clearly boycott those brands that are annoying you. So if you're looking at Unilever, so Dove, Tresemme, etc., never buy them again. Easy.
Hey, JT, how about this? I've got a conspiracy already. I just made this one up on the back of what you just said about all that shit.
All right, what do you got?
They have watched Allen's Redskins profit margin go through the roof because everybody went and bought that collector's item pack like I did of those bloody Redskins. And the profits were through the roof. And so then they've thought, well, shit, we'll take this off and people will think it's a collector's item and they'll go and buy all this range of normal shit. So, JT, I think no one buy the normal stuff and that'll stuff them up.
There we go. Heard it first from Donnie. Now, Don, as you said, we've actually just scrapped your segment altogether because you just don't listen to the punters, mate. But thankfully, I've still got my pick of the week.
No, but I will be listening next week. Well,
JT's pick of the week. Now, Don, back to a little bit of geeky stuff here, but I was pretty bloody excited about this Mars, Perseverance rover landing on Mars. It is quite staggering.
Oh, yeah, you showed us that one the other week, didn't you?
Yeah, but it's got something else that is pretty bloody exciting, Don, because inside the Perseverance rover, they actually have a helicopter.
Huh?
Yeah.
Who's flying that?
They've got a little drone that a lot of work's gone into it, and they're hoping that in April it will be ready for its first flight. But I've just got a little video here. It's got audio. It's got audio as well, so you'll be able to listen to it as well. It just explains a little bit about it.
Sometimes you have to do something just to show that you can do it. When the Wright brothers flew for the first time, they flew an experimental aircraft. And in the same way, the Mars helicopter is designed to show that we can fly powered helicopter flight in the Martian atmosphere.
From day one, this was the unwavering dream of our team, to get our helicopter launched to Mars so that we can get that opportunity to do that very first rotorcraft flight test in the actual environment of Mars. It's extremely difficult.
I won't go through the whole video. You can watch it on YouTube if you want to. But their first flight is just going to be a simple 20 to 30 second low altitude hover. But there's a lot of complexities, Don, because the temperature is about minus 90 degrees. So it's very, very tough. And the gravity is very different, of course, on Mars. So they reckon it's about, what did they say? I actually read it somewhere. But it's going to be really about 1% the density of Earth's in terms of gravity. So it's about like flying at 30,000 metres on the surface of Mars. So they've never done it before.
So clearly, though, JT, they've designed something to be able to use in those conditions. They're not just saying, right, I will use something the same as we use on Earth.
Oh, absolutely. So they've tried to design it. So the carbon fibre rotors are going to spin at 2,400 RPM, which on Earth it's about 500 RPM. So they've done everything they can to try and predict what it's going to be like. But of course, no one's ever been there, so a lot of it is a bit of guesswork. And they can't control it with a joystick because there's about an 11-minute delay between here and Mars. So it's an autonomous chopper. So they've sort of programmed it to tell it to do certain stuff. But given that delay, it could actually go up, crash, and all we'll see is some footage 11 minutes later of bits and pieces everywhere. So, but pretty exciting, I guess for humanity, I guess, to see if they can do the first ever flight on Mars.
How good is that, JT? In 2 segments, you've just gone and shown us what humans are capable of if we think outside the box, and how fucking stupid we can be if we want to change names from normal. Like, that is amazing, like the extremes that humans are. We're a complex beast, aren't we?
We certainly are a bloody complex beast. I'm going to get into our next segment, which is where we get to show you some funny stuff. It's time for TikTok.
Oh,
now,
busy.
Yeah, we have. Now, following TikTok, we're going to be crossing over to Nance for our first live cross to Nance. So that's very, very exciting.
So we're actually going to have not a recorded thing.
Not a recording, actually live, Donnie.
We'll be able to talk to her?
Yep. We'll be able to talk to her.
Will she talk back to her?
Well, all technology going well. We'll be had a two-way conversation. It'll be incredible. I mean,
it's more around it. Will she actually want to talk to us?
Well, there is that. Well, I'd like to think she'd like to talk to me, Donnie, and I know she likes you. We're all good. We'll be fine.
Right, let's go. TikTok. We've got to get to Nance.
Now, we do love a couple of good TikToks. So, now, Donnie, this is going to come up quite small on the screen, I suspect. But, sometimes dogs just do silly things sometimes. So I just want you to watch the dog in this video as soon as you see it and just see what happens.
Righto.
So the dog's coming down the stairs. gets a little bit spooked, and I'll just show you again. It gets a little bit spooked, and
that's piss funny. If you're listening to this, get around YouTube and watch it because it's funny. That's
show you one more time. What's this? So the guy just drops the vacuum cleaner and it starts sliding. You little shit. There we go. So that was a bit of a funny one. Now, the next one I want to show you, Donnie, I just want to remember that footage we had. To me, it was just incredible, that footage that we showed. I think it was in the last show of that freight ship that just broke apart when that wave hit it. Now, if you didn't see it, I'm just going to show you again. I'm just going to plock it up.
That might have been the one I said look at, JT.
Because this footage is just incredible. So you've got a tanker. It's just about to go into this wave. Just watch the front of the ship here. If you didn't see the footage, even if you did and you want to see it again, it's incredible.
That's right. And the guys on the radio were really calm.
Yeah, that's right. Here we go. Watch this.
This is the bit where all hell goes. Breaks loose, JT, and so too does the boat.
So you can see another boat there in the background there, and as I said, there was 14 crew on that boat. They managed to save 11. 3 people did die in that boat accident, which is quite tragic, of course. I think they were below deck. But there was some more footage, Donnie, it came through of a big wave, and I just wanted to show that as well because, Jesus, it frightens the shit out of me, to be honest. But have a look at this one. This is in New Zealand, and this is one of the New Zealand warships, I believe. Have a look at this.
And we're showing this to help the cruise industry get back on their feet.
Look at the size of this wave.
So this is a big warship.
That's God.
Oh, can you explain that, JT?
So if you're watching that...
I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of scared then.
That wave has just completely engulfed the front of that ship. It was... why people get on ships like that is beyond me, Donnie.
Well, I think hopping on the ship, JT, it's always pretty calm. It's when they get out in the big water. That's when shit goes.
Maybe that's the trick. Don't go out in the big water, right? And now for the last one, Donnie, we want to show you something that it's just going to blow your mind. Now, I can tell you it's going to blow your mind, but, well, it's just better off the guy telling you himself.
Righto.
Okay, so this is going to completely blow your mind. Completely off the top of your shoulders when I show you this. Ready? You're looking at KFC's official Twitter account. There's the Colonel, okay? There's the check mark, official. They have 1.4 million followers. They're following only 11. I'm curious, who are the 11? Well, you've got Jerry and Melanie and Emma and Mel C and Victoria. Okay, the Spice Girls. Then you got this guy Herb and that guy Herb and that guy Herb and that. Hold on. 11 people they're following, the Spice Girls and 6 Herb. They're following the 11 herbs and spices. KFC, I'm not worthy.
Oh, that's piss funny, JT. That is very, very good from that fellow. That is impressive. And KFC, that clearly very, very good sense of humour. I mean, if you're dishing up and selling what they're selling, you've got a sense of humour, so good on them.
Very true. Now, Donnie, it is that time where we get to do our first live cross for the evening, so we're going to take a big breath from the technical perspective because we're going to be introducing the wonderful, beautiful other half of me, clearly the better-looking one of the relationship, Nat, who's going to be joining us.
You noticed I didn't resist.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even, you could have stuck up for me a little bit. And she's going to be joining us every week to give us some health tips. So, first of all, let's welcome Nant to the show. Welcome, Nant.
Oh, she is now.
We hope. She's still on mute, though, Nant.
She's busy talking to someone else. She's not even interested in us.
Nant, come to us.
Victor, Charlie, come in, please.
There we go.
Hello, Nant. Nant, you're on.
Hi, guys.
Oh, she's there. I think she was just standing us up, deliberately not bloody talking to us, JT.
You are. Now I've got you. There we go.
Fantastic. Just turn your Facebook one off, Nat.
Oh, okay. Yeah, have done.
Oh, this will be the...
There we go.
This is the power of technology, Nat. We listen to JT. He's got this all sorted. He talks me through it every week.
No, that's what you got me for, though. So I'm good for something at least. So technology. Now we had a wonderful chat early in the week, Nat, because I know a lot of people. We had a voice recording of you on our last episode, but we thought people probably don't know a lot about you. So we did a fantastic episode with you a bit earlier. Now people can find that episode somewhere on our website, so you can just find it on special editions. And we've now got Nat Nissen.
There's a few feature interviews on there, JT.
As our latest edition, correct. So there's a photo of wonderful Nat and myself. So you can go on and listen to that.
Look what you're willing to do to get yourself in there, JT.
Anything to get myself on my own show.
Look at me.
Now, Nat, for those that haven't watched the podcast, because we only released that this afternoon, just give us a quick overview about your good self.
So I've been in the industry nearly 27 years. Lots of qualification: naturopath, nutritionist, counsellor, NLP, aromatherapist, masseur, personal trainer, master trainer, rehab specialist, chronic pain. So done a lot over the years, and I've done it because I've experienced illness myself. So everything I've learned has been because I've been ill or been injured, have gotten better and have thought I need to help people get better also. I need to help people understand that there's a better way to live. So that's where my learnings have come from, and I'm out to change the world and make people see
well, you're in a good spot to do it on the Giddy Up podcast with our massive global audience. So
all the change happens right here. We've got a beer sponsor.
That's you can have beer as well.
Now, awesome. Now, we started off last week telling everyone about some tips on how to lose weight because we know it's something that everyone is really struggling with, right? And, we've all stacked on a few little COVID kilos. And so we thought we'd throw you over to you to give us the first tip was throw away your scales, obviously. So what's the second tip?
Yeah. Second tip is the displacement replacement theory. Now, I know we're short of time, so I can put something on the page about this in the group if you wanted to know more. But basically we need to, when we start doing health kicks or diets or whatever it is, if you're not under an educated professional's care, what you want to do is actually not take anything away, especially not at the start. So you can't take something away without replacing something. It doesn't work. So if we look at the 4 pillars that I always talk about, it was in the interview, we don't want to just take away wine. We don't want to take away chips. We don't want to take away beer. We don't want to say I'm not having processed food anymore. It's much more realistic and sustainable long term to start adding things in and building those habits the other way. We always take things out and it never works. So what we want to do is replace before we displace. And so, for example, if you know you don't drink enough water, before you have a wine or a beer at night, have a glass of water. Have a glass of water before bed, have a glass of water in the morning. If you know that you're going to have your chips and wine and beer at night, have a plate of veggie sticks and dip beforehand, before you have the chips. Add in those veggies and add in a better habit before. If you know you don't exercise, go for a 10-minute walk a day. But start adding things in each week, one thing in a week, instead of taking something else out, because this replacement has to come before displacement.
I like it, Nan. I'm going to digest that. So the way I see it is I'm going to add a Tim Tam before I take away the apple.
Oh, Jesus.
Have I got that right? I like it. This is bloody great advice. JT, you're very wise getting Nan on.
Yeah, well, good thing is Nance super smart, so she's dealt with plenty of people like you before, Donnie, so you're in for a world of hurt, mate. You're not going to be able to run and hide.
Yeah.
Hey.
You've got 5 sessions with Don, just wait.
I know, mate. Hey, and talking about your sessions, the first one we're going to be doing is getting the tweezers, and we're going to be pulling out bloody scales. There was broken scales all down my street when I went for a walk the other day. Everyone took their scales out and threw them on the street. So people are listening now, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They definitely are. So, Nant, thanks for joining us. We do want to encourage everyone, if you've got questions for Nant that you want to know about health, just whack them in the comments or send it into the show, and we will address them on the show next week. So, if you've got anything you want to know, think of Nant as the health buster or the health buster around anything health and wellness, and she'll make sure you've got some answers.
How good is that? Thanks, Nant. Bloody good to see you, mate. Well done.
Bye.
Thanks, Nant. There we go. So our first live cross. A slight delay there, Donnie, on the sound, but we'll get that one sorted for next week.
Well, JT, I tell you what, if that's a quality of information that we're going to bring to our listeners, this is going to go through the roof, JT, through the bloody roof, mate.
Well,
that's
it's
smart.
very different from our stuff, Don, because that's actually got science and skill and fact behind it. So yeah, that's right. So the class of our show just went up about 100-fold then. So.
Right, what's next, JT?
Oh, well, we like talking about some really cool stuff, and I've got an absolute ripper for this one, which just by chance happens to go into our You Bloody Ripper segment, Donnie.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah. You Bloody Ripper! Now, Donnie, I ever since this lockdown, the police have lost a few, they've lost a bit of credibility, haven't they? Let's be honest.
Well, unfortunately for them, they were following a lot of rules that probably if they, away from their job, may have questioned, but doing their job, they've had to just follow through with it. So you're right. Yep, there's been some ordinary moments, but so too is the Karens of the world. So what else? But clearly they're not all bad. There's some bloody great police out there doing awesome stuff, JT.
That's
so what
exactly
have they done?
Right. That's why we're in our You Bloody Ripper section, Donnie, because we want to give a shout out to the New South Wales police force, and in particular, Donnie, with the little horses. What's that department called, Don?
Oh, the Giddy Ups.
The Giddy Ups, yes. So we want to give a shout out to the New South Wales Police Force, Giddy Ups.
The Mounties.
The Mounties, because they have done something which I think is bloody awesome, and I'm just going to put this photo up here for you. But this is a photo here. This is the New South Wales Police Force, and they've actually gone
not arresting
to
her,
go
are
and
they?
no, they've gone to visit a Newcastle woman named Rita Meredith. She was in palliative care, and one of her last wishes was to see and smell a horse one final time, and so she used to serve back in the UK in the mounted police unit, and so obviously had a very strong affinity with horses. And so it was one of her dying wishes was to see the horses again. And so they put the shout out, her son put the shout out, and the New South Wales Police Force actually travelled a fair distance to come and see her. But I just thought that is fantastic. It was awesome to see. So I think well deserved of a very good shout out to the New South Wales Police Force for granting Rita Meredith one of her final wishes.
How good is that, mate? I'll tell you what. So you know what it does, JT? It just makes you realise that there's good humans in all walks of life. And sometimes people have got a shit job to do, but they step up to the plate and nothing, palliative care, it is a mongrel of a space because the reality is people aren't coming home from there. And to be able to grant a dying wish, like that is not only for Rita who received that, but those two police people will never not remember that as well. Like that'll stay with them for life, that their ability. And of course, our listeners that get to share in that joy and other people in the police force, knowing that, they're doing some amazing stuff. So good find, JT. Well done, you bloody ripper. Love it.
Yeah, well done, guys. I think that is awesome. Now, unfortunately, what goes up must come down, Donnie. So we've got to highlight Dickhead of the Week. It's just
probably got a dickhead coming.
Yeah, we have, sadly. Dickhead of the Week.
This is a tough segment, JT, because it always brings us to the cesspit of society. Is that where we're going today, or is it just?
Yeah, it is. Unfortunately, again, we're going to just call out Gordon Elliott. Now, Gordon Elliott is a Grand National winning horse trainer. So we're on the horses theme here.
Got you offside.
Correct. And he's currently been banned from racing horses in Britain while authorities investigate a photograph. Now, I'm going to show the photograph. So, a heads up, if you don't like looking at distressing things, I'd suggest you look away now, but I think I need to show the photo. So I'm going to pop it up now, and I'll tell you when it's off. So the photo's there on the screen right now. And for those of you who are listening here, what you're seeing is a guy who is sitting on top of a dead racehorse on his phone, just giving how you going to the camera. So the shot is now off the screen. And so the 42-year-old, he's profoundly apologised, profoundly for any offence the photo has caused. So look, dickhead in the first place for doing it, because you think, what sort of a toss bag would even do that, right? But here's what really riled me up, Donnie, because he's tried to defend it and this is quote, "I was standing over the horse waiting to help with the removal of the body, in the course of which, to my memory, I received a call, and without thinking, I sat down to take it. Hearing a shout from one of my team, I gestured to wait until I was finished."
Oh, that's bullshit.
Now, I'm going to put the photo up again, just as a bit of a warning. So remember, apparently he sat down to take the call, and he heard a shout from one of his team, and he gestured to wait until he was finished. Have a look, and you tell me if you think he gestured a wait signal. Here we go. It's going on the screen again. Now,
that's not wait. That's buddy. I'm posing for a photo, mate.
Absolutely,
Japanese
isn't it?
style, mate.
Absolutely.
No, you're a dickhead, mate. Oh, when I read this first up, JT, I thought, you know what? Listen to what he said. I reckon maybe I can see where I can sort of take my head there and go, yeah, I can understand that if you're sort of standing over one side and you just, phone calls take you in a different place. But that is complete bullshit. He sat down there and he's got no respect at all. And I reckon you're spot on the mark, JT. He is a dickhead and our dickhead of the week without question.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's bloody great that he's getting his ass kicked too from not just the public, but his own industry, because that shit's not cool.
No, it's not cool at all. Now, what is exciting though, Donnie, because we've got enough doom and gloom out of the show. We've got some pretty amazing things to come, and most of it is just laugh central. And not only have we got laughs, and I've got one of the funniest videos I've ever shown on the show.
You've talked this up, JT, from
Donnie, it is
over 2 weeks. I've been waiting for
every
this,
time I see it. It just makes me laugh every single
All right,
time.
so
we got that coming up pretty
kids.
soon. We've got the Money Whisperer. We've got a live cross still to Mick Duffy, and Mick has got some cracking stories. Yeah, and he's got some cracking stories he's going to share with everyone. So we've got that coming up. We've got a couple of life hacks coming up, and I've got a cracking dad joke as well. So we've got plenty to go on the show already. So we've been crapping on a lot as it is. I know, we've got to get cracking, don't we? So now, Donnie, we did have this new segment where we had a code phrase. You remember last week we got everyone to say something?
Yes,
Donnie.
that's right, yes.
What was it again, Don?
JT, it was my favourite chocolate is. That was the.
Yes.
Did I get that right? Yes, my
Yeah, that
favourite
was
chocolate
on.
is, and
Yeah.
people, and I bloody put my hand up and said golden raft, mate, or Bounty, and or I'd go crunchy in there too, eat around the outsides. People put in JT. A lot of people put in, didn't they?
So, well, there's a few here, and what are they going to win, Don? If they because we're going to do
just
the
good
big
shit,
spin. So, what are they going to get?
Well, have we given away a tradie.com voucher, JT? Can we do that?
We have not, Donnie. So that is exactly what they're going to be getting. So this is for a
A bit of weekender action, JT.
so it's exciting. Now, just give me one
this one.
second. We're about to.
Oh yeah, JT. This is this is weekender. Really one day I will learn to
to get that to going right. All right, now we're going to get the big wheel spinning. There she is. So we are going to spin the wheel.
That put in.
These are the
Rachel
people that told
D's
us
on
their favourite chocolate from last week. So we're going to spin this wheel, and the winner gets themselves a $100 tradie.com voucher. So good luck to everyone on the wheel.
Ben, I think that would be your mum. If I'm hello,
Matthew S, congratulations. You have won yourself.
Matthew S.
You've won
That
yourself a
is a big
$100
win.
voucher. Now, Donnie, we're going to do it again this week. So we're going to give everyone a code phrase again this week. Now, if you're listening live, you go into the draw, of course. And if you just hear this, you happen to hear this on a podcast later on, or you're watching the Facebook video or the YouTube video, or you've gone to the giddyyuppodcast.com.au website and watch it,
What
you can still
website's
enter.
that, JT?
giddyyuppodcast.com.au. You can still enter the draw. So this doesn't have to be a live one. What we do is give you two
those
entries.
People that wrote that review and said, Don, you're shit because you're saying stuff, they were listening to it. So we're not excluding them. They also can be involved, JT.
That's right. So if you listen live and you
Get
type it
around
in
it.
live on the show right now, you get two entries on the big wheel. If you listen to us later on, you'll still get an entry into the wheel. So the code phrase for this week, Donnie, you have to write it exactly as is. My favourite football team is... Because
We're about to divide people.
the
JT.
AFL and rugby is firing up at the moment. So my favourite football team is...
And we won't judge people on what they say. We'll just put them in the draw.
No, that's right. They just go in the draw. It doesn't matter what you say. We won't call you out being a flog if you barrack for Collingwood or anything. But
And
promise.
do they need their own teeth if it's a Collingwood supporter, or they don't need?
No, we're
any,
not
or-
even going to make any of those jokes, Donnie. We're just
we
not
won't.
going to do it. No, we respect
All right.
all people's decisions, Donnie. Now,
except if they're normal.
yeah, that's right. So just, my favourite football team is, and whack it in, and we'll have a look at the comments later on, add you into the draw. Now, of course, there is still some prizes
So
to
they
be
can
given
do that
away.
now.
Get into it. Janine's already
Get
on
into
it.
it, suckers.
Janine's on
Go
it.
your
Look at that.
hardest.
Bang. We love it. So go your hardest.
Janine.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to play the
Love
Money
me.
Whisperer, who's got a great tip. So while you're typing in your comments, have a listen to the Money
Excellent.
Whisperer.
Type away, humans.
G'day guys, it's the Finance Whisperer here with all things money and finance weekly update. The Australian property market as a whole continues to absolutely boom, particularly in the eastern states. I've mentioned Sunshine Coast and the Mornington Peninsula quite often, but they continue to absolutely boom. I think that'll start to put some sort of pressure on interest rates. So if you've got an owner-occupied home loan, I'd seriously consider you can get for 3 or 4 years just over 2% or under in some cases. I think that's got to be seriously tempting to put at least a fair share of your home loan on, knowing that you've got just ridiculously low historical rates for a long period of time. Certainly worth giving your bank or a broker a call to discuss that. I mentioned Haven Protocol and Handshake last week in terms of cryptos. It's been another amazing ride this week in the crypto world, but that's pretty much stock standard. Haven Handshake's gone up 58% since I mentioned it last Thursday, but I believe it will get to $1 by the end of the year. There's so much actual real world usage for that, and Haven Protocol's had a bit of a correction, so I think it's a good opportunity to jump in and get that. In terms of stocks, it's good to see Webjet. It's one we've been talking about for some time. Go up, get a nice 50-cent bounce on the news of the vaccine starting to get rolled out, and the borders being opened up nationally at the moment. There's no restrictions for moving from between any state at the moment, with 0 in each state. So I think Webjet's still got a fair way to go. I'll be back next week with another update. Cheers.
Oh, he's nailed it again. I tell you what, crypto is hot at the moment, Donnie, isn't it?
Oh, JT, I was just having a bit of a look to see how the old webjet's going. And in handshake Hodin protocol, like this is all a whole new language for some people.
Mm-hmm.
And fair enough too, because it is a way. JT, I think it'd be awesome, and I'd be happy to listen to our listeners, whether there's an interest in, because I know you're a massive fan of the cryptocurrency, and I have a little dabble.
Crypto. Yeah.
I stick half a toe in it, and given for me that's actually a full toe. But I'm genuinely interested. But I think the Money Whisperer, I think for a lot of people who aren't investing yet in that space, in a decentralized currency world, it would be awesome to find out a bit more about, like, just understanding this, understanding how it works, what to keep an eye out for. So I wonder if that's oh dear. We've just,
Don's in trouble.
That is that's not a cool outcome, that one. That is my wife right there, my beautiful first wife, posting, "How's mine going, Don?" Because I might have tipped her into some that we're having a bit of a correction, shall we call it?
Dear.
Just after. So anyway, hang in there, mate.
Well, you might be able to get the Money Whisperer on and talk a little bit more about some of that stuff in future episodes. And I mean, there was a crypto coin, and look, this isn't the norm clearly, but there was one a couple of days ago, Donnie, that I wish I had some money in and I bloody didn't, and I'm kicking myself that I didn't, Don. But Chili's it was called, and it's gone up 100 times. So if you'd put in $1, you would have had $100 in 2 days.
Happy days,
so there's a lot of people that made a lot of money out of Chili's. So, but there is certainly a lot of money and a lot of money to be earned and a lot of money to be lost in crypto. So
yes.
The key is to only put in what you're prepared to lose with crypto.
And JT, also on that too, the fact that our Money Whisperer has just given himself a little bit of a head wobble and turned himself into the bloody finance whisperer. If you
I noticed a little subtle change.
What about that? I can't wait to get him on and just bloody get stuck into him there.
That's exactly right.
Up. All things finance. I love it, but he's right though. He's bloody right.
He's always right. I think he's not put a foot wrong since he's been on the show. So he's generally got some really good advice. Well, that's very true. We only take the best in, Donnie, isn't it?
Foot wrong, you chopped it off. Right, can we do another live cross, JT? What can we do?
I'd love to do a live cross because they don't come bigger than one of our main sponsors, Donnie.
Oh, this is it. Have we got it? Is he coming back?
He's coming back.
He did that feature interview with us, and I thought that was him spent all his giddy up coins, and he was never coming back.
No,
but he's a genuine sponsor. He's got some skin in the game. I love it.
Bloody exciting. So let's cross live to Mick now. G'day, Mick. How you going?
Oh, there he is.
Hey, JT. Don, how are you guys?
Bloody sensational, mate. Now, are you in
better
the
now
brewery?
you've joined
Where
us.
are you, Mick?
I'm not in the brewery, mate. No, I'm sitting out in the living room at the moment, mate. So, no, I'm not in the brewery.
You've been sampling the goods, though, Mick.
Yes.
Sorry to disappoint. Well, yeah, it is. Well, what is it? 9. It's almost 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. So I'm not drinking milkshakes, but I'm enjoying a big cat.
I love that. And what you won't hear from us on this show ever is drink responsibly. We figure stuff it. If you're drinking, you do it your way.
Like it, Don. Like it, mate. Unless it's one of your gins or vodkas, Don, then we might need to just bar down a bit on that.
Yeah, pull right up on that.
Now, Mick, when we had you on this show, we asked our listeners to come up with some interesting, or send in some interesting stories, Donnie, because they're obviously all around the mystery of the big cat. And we thought, well, what other mysteries are out there? So, Mick, what did you come up with? What did our listeners send in?
Yeah, JT, the Giddy Up listeners and viewers came with the goods. Now we had a heap of stories that came in. I had the job of picking a winner. So the winner's going to receive a case of our mysterious ale beer. This is this one here, the mysterious ale.
Oh, there it is.
So they're going to receive a case of that. But look, I won't go into all the details of each of the story, but there was a few shout outs for a couple of great stories that we heard with a bit of mystery to them. We had a bunyip sighting from James and his mates that were sitting around a campfire on the banks of Moama back in about 2003. They saw a creature that wasn't a kangaroo, it wasn't a deer. It was something they just couldn't explain. We also had Dinah in Geelong who had pebbles getting delivered on her front doorstep for about a month or so. Every morning she'd go out there, there'd be these 4 or 5 pebbles sitting on the doorstep. Couldn't explain it. couldn't understand it. And then after about a month, they worked out that a magpie was coming and placing their there. So bit of mystery solved there, I think, for Dinah. And we also had a big cat sighting. We had Timmy Green had a big cat sighting as he was bushwalking at the back of Wilson's Prom, and about 20 metres from where he was walking, he came face to face with a big black looking cat panther. He quickly turned around and went back the other way after it shuffled on into the bushes, and he went and saw the ranger, and the ranger basically said to him, "Yeah, that's the panther. We've had a bunch of those sightings up here."
Wow.
So
whoa. Didn't happen to get a
so
photo.
yeah, there was a big cat one, but I had to choose a winner, like I said. So it was a bit of mystery and intrigue with these ones, and the winner came from Sam Ward, who again back in 2003. Something must have been happening back in 2003 because we had a couple of stories from that year. But he was working at a pub in Richmond, a pub that you boys might have been to before, called the Spread Eagle there on Bridge Road. It's an old pub. I think it's about 130 odd years old. And there'd been these stories of the top room of this pub. There was a bar upstairs, and there'd been stories and different music and different things being heard at different times from this top bar. So Sam was opening up one morning after there'd been a night before. It might have been a Sunday morning, I think it might have been. He was opening up by himself. He was cleaning the bar. He'd gone up to the top bar. He was cleaning up the top bar, had a bit of a weird feeling about it, when all of a sudden there was a few CDs. This is back in 2003, so there was a few CDs that were sitting on the fireplace, and the CDs flew across the room, hit the ground, unexplainably. So Sam turned around, like Kim did when he saw that big cat, and he ran downstairs, ran out of the pub, waited for the manager to arrive, and he said, "You won't bloody believe it. I've been up in the top bar. These CDs have flown off the mantelpiece of the fireplace." They headed up there together, and these CDs were sitting back on the mantelpiece up there at this pub.
No way. Oh,
Yeah.
get stuffed.
Yeah, so-
Oh, that's chills. Oh, buddy. Oh, yep. There's a winner right there.
That
Nick,
is
I'll tell you.
definitely worth a winner, that one. Bloody hell. I would
This
never
is gonna
set
be
foot in that
big,
pub
mate.
ever again.
Are we sticking with this segment? This will bring... Oh, Mick. I know this is going to have some bloody stories, but I'm going to be freaked out each week by listening to them.
Well, what we thought, Don, because of Sam's story, I had to pick a winner, and I think that gave me chills when I had it as well. So Sam's got a case of the mysterious ale. We're going to give him a bit of merch, a glass, and we've got something for bit of merch and bottle openers to the others as well. But what we thought for the next episode, we've also got a legendary lager. So this is this one here. So instead of sticking with our mysterious stories, what we thought was every family's got a bit of a legendary story that they've got. There's legendary stories that go through all families. Donnie, I'm sure you've got a couple of dozen stories that go through your family.
Well, I've got a few things going through my family, and some of them were curry. But yes, there'll be some legendary stories, no doubt, Mick.
So what we want to do, just like last time, we want the listeners to go onto the page and share with us these legendary family stories. We'll come back next episode, and again, the winner will get a case of our legendary lager.
A full case, Mick.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Don. The big long neck's a full case. So the mysterious ale will be heading Sam's way, and hopefully we'll be giving away a legendary lager next episode.
Oh, Sam should have tucked into one of them before he went up and cleaned the top room, mate. He would have. Jeez, that's bloody awesome, Mick. Good stuff, mate. And that's still bloody scaring the crap out of me, that
I know,
that
right?
story.
Bloody hell. I would never, ever step foot in that room ever again. Like, it's just not a hope in hell. That shit scares
I would,
scares
but
the
I'd
shit
have
out
to
of
be
me.
there with someone.
Like bloody an
I'd be
exorcist
too
or
kid
something.
myself
I want to be there with a
box.
priest. Oh, bloody God. No way. That's awesome, Mick. Well, we love, if you're going to bring these stories, mate, we're going to be out of a job. So we love that. That's awesome.
Oh, mate. I'm going to send my microphone to you,
good.
Mick, and that'll be the end of me.
It's the listeners that are bringing the stories. So bring in the legendary stories for next episode, and we'll hopefully we'll have a few more good tales to tell.
Mate, I'm sure we will. Awesome.
Can't wait. This will be good too.
Mick, thanks for joining us. I know it's a Saturday night, mate, so appreciate you just having a couple of extra Yarra Valley Big Cat. I can't speak tonight. Have you just noticed? Yarra Valley Beer Company, Big Cat, Beer Company.
Big Cat Beer
Why did you
Company,
make it
that's
so
the
many
one.
bloody letters, Mick? Why can you make it easier for bloody blokes like me?
Just call it Big Cat from now on, JT. Let's
Yeah,
go with that.
might be
Big Cat.
easier. What do you have to do if you have to email someone? You say, Mick at Yarra Valley Beer Company, Big Cat Beer. Well, you just give up.
They just run their fingers along the keyboard.
Yeah,
Keep
so-
doing it.
Be wearing out keyboards like no tomorrow. Mate. No, that's awesome.
Oh, excellent, mate. We'll get some great yarns.
No, we were looking forward to some great yarns. And, of course, if you are interested in some beer, go and check out the Yarra Valley Big Cat Beer Company website. There's lots of awesome stuff on there, as well as some merchandise already sold out, some of it, as we've touched on.
Yeah,
so you've got
some
to
of
get
your
in
mum
quick.
had a crack at it and sold out, mate. So they're big stuff, mate. They're the real deal. Love it, Mick. Love it.
It is the real deal. So thanks again, Mick. We look forward to having you on the show again next week with some more awesome stories.
Love your work. Thanks, boys. See you,
Good on you,
see you
Mick.
next week.
Remember, mate.
All right. Well, we are in the run home, and what a bloody good story that was, Donnie. Tingles that one.
Mate, there's some. We like that sort of stuff. Like that's what our sponsors bring, JT. Bit of skin in the game.
They do bring a bit of skin to the
bring the
game.
goods. Bloody love it. Love it.
Now, Donnie, I think it's time for something that is this one. Dad joke of the week.
JT, I thought you were going to throw to my life hack, and I'm thinking I'm hanging for a dad joke before I can do a life hack. So I'm glad.
Well, there we go. We've got the life hack. So we've got life hack and the funniest video you're ever going to see coming up, your final fling, and then we are done. So, Donnie, straight into this. So, Buddy and his wife, Edna, they go to the state fair every year. And every year, Buddy would say, Edna, I'd like to ride in that helicopter. And Edna always replied, I know, Buddy, but the helicopter ride is $50. And $50 is $50. Well, one year, Buddy and Edna went to the fair, and Buddy said, Edna, I'm 85 years old. If I don't ride that helicopter, I might never get another chance. And to this, Edna replied, Buddy, that helicopter ride is $50. And $50 is $50. But the pilot overheard the couple and said, folks, I'll make you a deal. I'll take the both of you for a ride. And if you can stay quiet for the entire ride and don't say a word, I won't charge you a penny. But if you say one word, it's $50. So Buddy and Edna agreed, and up they went. And the pilot did all kinds of fancy maneuvers, but not a word was heard. He did his daredevil tricks over and over and over again, but still not a word. Right? So when they landed, the pilot turned to Buddy and he said, well, by golly, he said, I did everything I could to get you to yell out, but you didn't. He goes, I'm bloody impressed. And Buddy replied, well, to tell you the truth, I almost said something when Edna fell out, but, $50 is $50.
Oh, that's very good, JT. I like that. That's good.
Very simple one. Now, Donnie, we do have a few life hacks that we wanted to quickly share with people before we get into the funniest video you're ever going to see. So we've got the stinger for life hacks. There we go.
So, JT, what we're seeing for the viewers at home that are watching this, and for those that aren't, I will talk you through it.
Weird stuff.
Cable
happening.
ties, JT.
Yep, cable ties.
They're
They're
normally
very
you
useful.
get a cable tie, you put it on, and then you get your pliers and you clip it off.
Clip it off,
right?
yep.
The problem when you do that is there's always a sharp bit.
Oh,
There's
cut
always.
myself on
That's
that plenty of times, yeah.
It's a bastard, right?
Yeah.
How's this for a life hack, JT? You're going to like it. I'm just hooking up another cable tie to my microphone
good
stand.
effects there, yep.
Instead of cutting it, JT,
Right.
just whack your pliers on there and just twist.
Can't actually see you on the
twist.
screen here, but yep.
We're just twisting, JT. We're
here
just
we go.
twisting.
Yep.
That will break off. JT, smooth as a bloody big cat.
Hang on.
No sharp bits. I shit you not.
So you just
It is
twist it
genius,
around.
JT.
And it's just,
So instead of cutting your cable tie, just put your pliers on it, twist it, and it'll be smooth. That one come fresh from your mum, who has been viewing every single show we've ever done live, JT. So very, very about time he's bloody contributed. And I reckon it's been awesome that he gave me that one, because that saved me from having lots of cuts and scratches. So well done, Jamum.
Bloody impressive. I'd never seen that one before. Well, I'm going to show someone, I'm going to show you one tip, Donnie. Now, you know when you have a party and you got people coming over to dinner and you sort of, you want to,
yes, I do.
You want to impress, right? You want to say, well, I've got to put on some decent food. I want to impress everyone, make my food look great, taste good. Yeah, preferably put some clothes on if it's one of those kind of parties, Donnie. And so I thought, here's a little hack that we could share with people. If you just a great way of making some little tiny little hors d'oeuvres that you might want to dish up with your friends. Have a look at this.
What do you got?
So it's just using a syringe if you're listening. And watch what they do here. Just a little bit of a clunk, clunk, clunk.
I've just
put a little
got a syringe.
And
JT, you'll see them. Right, explain this, JT, to the people listening.
I don't know how to explain that,
What have they
Donnie.
just done?
It's pretty impressive though, isn't it?
It is impressive. So they've just had a syringe. They've chopped the end off it though, JT.
That's
right. It's a big syringe, and they've just stabbed it in a whole lot of shit like cheese and ham and bread and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've just put a
toothpick through it.
Toothpick in it.
Done.
Bang.
Bloody
JT,
good,
sensational. Speaking of people coming over, JT, for maybe a quiet little bevy, right? I'm going to give you one more little life hack. When you go to, when you put your lid on, and often when you go to put, I'm not going to drink here. This is a Don vodka, fresh made. I'm not going to drink this. This isn't about the drink. This is actually about putting caps on, JT. Right. Sometimes you go to put a cap on and you thread the bloody thing and it gets tight and you just can't. If you want to put your cap on and get it right every time, put it there and just turn it backwards for a little bit. It'll clip into the right spot and you perfectly every time. So before you turn on, turn off, find the little groove, bang, straight on. You'll never stuff up putting your cap on again, JT, ever.
There we go. That's why people watch this show, Donnie, for amazing tips like that.
And that was homebrew. I did that.
Don, I've been talking this up for a long time now, but I'm going to show you one of the funniest videos. So I think it's bloody hilarious.
I'm just going to set myself up for this.
Get yourself nice and comfy. Only goes for about 20 seconds or 30 seconds, but it is it's comedy gold.
Okay.
And, well, Donnie, I know you've actually contributed to this because I know it's a cause that's very close to your heart, which is the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, Make-A-Wish, yes.
And I think it's fantastic that they do a lot of things for people. And, this was just great to see another little boy's dream come true, Donnie.
Wearing number 1 for the Los Angeles Traffic today is 9-year-old Tommy Douglas. Tommy has lived most of his life in the hospital after being born with a potato for a heart and will undergo a heart transplant surgery next weekend. He's about as big of a traffic fan as they come, so in partnership with the Grant-A-Wish Foundation, both teams have agreed to come together and have Tommy run the first play of the game. And he got the handoff, and there he goes. Made a little cutback move, and it looks like he's going to go all the way. Look at him go.
Good work.
Wow. This is really one of those heartwarming moments in sports where you just... Oh! Oh, my God! That is not good.
Oh, dear.
It still makes me laugh, and I've seen it 100 times.
Oh, someone forgot to tell that fella that little Tommy's a visitor for the day. He wiped him out, mate. Smack.
That's it. Funniest video I've probably ever seen. There we go.
Oh, you heartless bastard. I can't believe you laughed at that, Jason.
Yeah, and I still laugh at it. Every time I see it, I laugh at it.
That is gold.
Oh, now, Donnie, we love rounding out the show with, the best segment of the lot.
JT, I tell you, this one here, the final fling, this one is a little bit of pay attention to yourself. And the reason I say that is because so often we ask people for advice, JT, a lot of advice. And sometimes, believe it or not, the best advice sits within us. And we call it our gut feel. What's our gut feel about something? We should listen to that, JT. No matter what, we should listen to what our gut says. Our gut will give us a little bit of instinct, a bit of guidance, whether something doesn't feel right. It probably isn't, and we should listen to it. But more importantly, JT, that's a bit of an invisible thing that people can take notice of or not. But a conscious thing that I'm encouraging people to do, particularly this week, is you can ask any question you want and you can get answers from anywhere you like, but you also should contribute to the answer. So what I'm saying is you go to a doctor and you ask him a question about something, don't forget to contribute also to that. So nobody else knows you better than you do, and we should always make sure that we look after and we ask and we serve ourselves. It's absolutely fundamental that we contribute to the answer of any question that we're willing to ask. Then we get a complete picture. JT, that is my final fling.
I love your final flings, Donnie. Always wonderful words of wisdom. So we do want to thank everyone for watching or listening to the podcast, whether it's live or on video, on demand, as they say these days. We will be back in about a week or so with our next episode. I'm in Adelaide next week. And Donnie, what are you up to next week?
Good luck in Adelaide, JT. I went there once and lost about 8 years of my life. No, there's nice people in Adelaide still. A couple of them. The rest got out. I've got a busy week, JT. It is exciting. I did a gig this morning, actually on the cameras, and that was for the Scleroderma Foundation, Scleroderma Victoria. I'll talk about them in another time, and it was a really wonderful thing to be able to offer some advice to some people that have honestly been dealt a pretty shit card and doing the best they can to play it. So that was a wonderful thing this morning, and I've got plenty more of that this week, and also looking forward to a big week with my work, putting on some classes for adults with a disability, and it's fantastic that we've got some more people joining up. It's growing and growing, and I bloody love it. So big week for me, JT. Big week for you. So we'll be back when we're back, and we'll absolutely make sure that we televise or put out there to the people when that will be, because we don't exactly know right now, do we?
No, we've got absolutely no idea. So special thanks again to Mick Duffy and Nat Nissen for joining us live on the show tonight. We're looking forward to having their input.
Well done with your fancy fingers, JT, to make that all work. The bloody live crosses work. Nothing went wrong, JT.
Almost got away with it tonight. So that's all we've got. Now, remember, if you do want to help promote the show, please just tell your friends to go to giddyyuppodcast.com.au. It's the easiest way, because you find all the links to us on Facebook, YouTube, Spotify, bloody the works. So, please tell them, giddyyuppodcast.com.au.
Final question. Sorry, what is that final, for the code question? My favourite football team is.
That's right. You just got to let us know, and we will add it on. So, what is your favourite footy team, Don?
Mate, I'm Mighty Hawks. Go the Mighty Hawks.
Yeah, of course it is. On that note, we probably should say goodbye to everyone. So, thanks again for watching tonight. It's been a long show tonight, so really appreciate everyone hanging around.
Good work. Giddy up.
There we go. That's the end of the formal podcast. Did actually record it for once. So thanks everyone for watching. We've been crapping on way too late tonight, Donnie. I think that was an hour and a half or something.
Nearly past my
way past everyone's bedtime tonight, Donnie. So we will not hold up everyone, but send us in some stuff if you want topics you want us to talk about. Next week. We love getting emails and bloody inbox messages and you name it. So hit us up if you've got any topics, if you've got any good jokes. We've got a few people that love feeding in some of the jokes, so keep them coming, please.
And those legendary stories, if my family that are listening to this do not send in some legendary shit about me, they will be banned from listening. So
we could almost do a show alone on the stories that are going to come out from your family, I think, Donnie.
Actually, what am I saying? Send them in. Do not send them in. I should be saying.
Awesome.
Oh, it'd be great.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Have a wonderful rest of the weekend, and we will hopefully see you in a week or so when we're back for the next episode.
See you guys. Have a good week.